Hi, I'm Stephen Kelly from Dried Fruits Australia. I'm here with Warren Lloyd for our third season update for the 2022-23 season. And we're here in amongst, what's this variety?
We're amongst our Sun Muskets.
Yep, and it looks like a pretty nice heavy crop. Can you explain where we're at? You've done the leaf plucking before putting wetting on?
Yeah, that's right.
Yep.
The first stage is to get the leaf plucker out, and you just run along the edge of it, and it just takes the outer leaves off, and that allows greater access and penetration when you put the drying mixture on the grapes.
Do you cut before you wet, or do you wet the other way? Do you do it the other way around?
No, traditionally we wet before we cut, and the main reason is exactly what you see here. If you've got a big crop, well, ideally when you cut, what you want to see is it drop, because it means that you've got a heavy crop. And if it drops, it's going to create issues when you try and wet. So the general rule is that we go through wetting first and then try and cut it within, I don't know, 24 hours to 48 hours. Yeah.
Yep. So I see here with your Sun Muskets, you've got a good body of fruit here, nice red. You should be able to get the fish plates from the harvester underneath. You were saying with your sultanas with a very heavy crop, it hasn't worked out so well. It's dropped on you. Could you explain a bit more about what's happened there?
Yeah, look, it's one of the things that happens with the different varieties. So you're right, with Sun Muscat, we've got a great fruiting zone here. The harvester that I use, the key is you've just got to get the fruit in the harvester and it'll pick it. And so there needs to be some level of clearance underneath. So with the Sultana patch, I didn't tip it, I just let it do it naturally and then put the pins in November. And I found that when I've cut that, a lot of the fruit has actually dropped. So it needs to be between those two wires, and preferably if it's got a lot of laterals, it's got something to hold on to. And I think some of the newer varieties like Carina, Sun Muscat, do provide that. So it's one of the traps with Sultana.
So you've got Sun Muskets, you've got Sultana. What other varieties have you got here?
Sunglow and Carina.
Carina. Yep. So have you cut the Sunglow yet?
No, that'll be last.
Be a bit later on.
Yep.
But you have cut your Carinas.
Carinas have been cut. Yeah. The pleasing thing about this season is that the wet conditions we have during spring have disappeared, and we've had really great dry conditions up until this point. But the maturity of the fruit has been a real issue, and I'm sure it has been for most growers. And traditionally, I would wait until the 28th of February, and that's the day that I go with my Carinas. This year, I decided that 10th of March was as late as I could go. We ended up cutting them on I think the 6th and the 7th of March. So you need to know how long it takes to do the task, work out how late you're prepared to go, and then come back and determine that's when you're going to start. With the proviso that every now and again you have something that stuffs up and either stops it or slows things up. Yeah, so where I'm at with my harvest at the moment is just finishing off the wetting and the cutting. I expect to have that done by the end of this week. If not, it'll be early next week, Monday. The next thing is to have a look at what I've got and whether I need to give a quick respray.
Yes.
And after that, it's just a case of waiting for stuff to dry. And that's my opportunity to go through and make sure that the trellis is right, that anything that's slipped out I can tie back up. All the pins are in, ready to go. Yep,
you're close to being able to get the crop off.
Yeah, it's great to be at this point. Generally, it's seen that once it's cut like this, you're safe from rain and mould. But the next stage is to get it off, and it doesn't really count until it's sitting in a bin.